Fanatec's Clubsport version 2 panels have been available for quite a while now. Many people decide to buy them separately or together with an existing Fanatec wheel, but you can of course use it with any wheel you want because they're a standalone unit. Inside a lovely black box you find the pedals themselves along with two cables. So one of them is a USB cable, and then you also have a one with a small band connector, so you can plug it in directly into a wheel, and then they're compatible with Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. They may be available later on, well, compatible later on with the newer consoles when Fanatec makes new wheels. So, pretty straightforward design. In most cases you got three pedals, so you obviously have your throttle, a brake pedal and a clutch pedal. Can't really drive without them, can you? Looking at them from the side or back, you can see that the throttle is a pretty simple spring. The clutch is a spring, but also with a little swing arm to get a different amount of pressure. So it's really easy to hold it in this position, but this is a harder way to move it. There's also a rubber stopper right there to make sure you don't press the pedal too far. And then of course there's the brake pedal. The brake pedal has a load cell which can be adjusted, so you can choose how hard you need to push it for the force it translates as braking distance. So it's not distance based, it's force based. There is a hydraulic element in here which uses mineral oil, and you can just set the pre-tension on the spring, but you can't really set anything else. They use an extra support here. For construction, Fanatec uses a pretty simple construction design. Namely, you have two bars sandwiched together by two rather large aluminum arcs or aluminium arcs, and then you have your heel plate in here, but there's really nothing underneath except for another bar. In the bottom you then also have your connector box, so in here you plug it in to your PC or your wheel. And then there's also the hard mounting, so you can hard mount it in 4 different locations, and I would definitely recommend doing that because you can't really use the brake properly without it. Let's talk about adjustability for a bit here. As you can see, there are many holes drilled into the clutch and brake pedal already. There were only 2 holes drilled into the throttle pedal. I decided to make 2 extra ones so I can change where it sits a bit better. So all you can really change is how high, and so horizontal and vertical positioning of the pedals. You can't really change how far the throw is. So you can only press it so far. It's a fixed throw. You can also not adjust the angle, which is quite sad because the pedals are pretty flat sitting. You can of course change pressures and everything, but when you change this hole, the potentiometer, this thing right here, doesn't detect the correct movement anymore. So despite there being holes, you cannot really change the position or the angle of your throttle pedal. The brake pedal is angle adjustable, so all you really do is take this clip out and undo this little thumb screw, and then the damper comes off. So as you can see, it's a pretty simple damper. You just have a spring and 2 cylinders connected with a little channel in between it, and so that way of course it goes in and back out again. You can then change the position of this bar put it higher or lower. It's in the second hole, so if you put it in the bottom hole, it will go a bit straighter up. If you put it higher, it will go further down. Should you want to further change the feel of your brake, one thing you can do is change the spring that's inside of, you know, the damper. So to change the spring, all you do is pull the spring and pull this aluminum piece. There's a cutout, so it comes off the bar. The spring comes off, and you can replace the spring. Another thing you can change is the oil inside of them. So it comes with 800 oil and 1200 oil. From a quick test, it seems like the 800 oil is less viscous than the 1200 oil. Now I like a very hard pedal, so what I'm gonna do is fill it with the 1200 oil. So you take this little thing, whatever you call it in English, off your small cylinder. Get your oil, pretty simple really. Push it down, keep it down as well. Squirt some oil in. Alright, forget what I said about squirting oil in. It's not a flexible tube, which is quite annoying. So I just took the top off and you just pour a bit in. Because obviously if you were to try and pour it straight in, you'd make quite a mess. So this is a rather difficult way of doing it. Not a big fan of this way, but whatever. So when you fill it up, you just pull it again, and of course you'll see the liquid level going down. And so you just pump it a few times to make sure all the air that is inside there is out, so you don't get a spongy brake. Then you fill it up some more, because, you know, with the air going out there's more room for the liquid, but you don't want to fill it up too high as well, because of course the thing, which I don't have a name for, is quite deep going itself. So right now our damper is installed. You just put it back to the end, get the seal, make sure the rubber washer is still on, and put it back in place. Get it on tight, like finger tight, not too tight. Now there's going to be silicone oil all over your hands, but that's okay, I guess. Okay, so we've done an unboxing-ish like thing, a bit of an intro, and a look around the product. So here's what it looks like when you're actually using it. This was with the camera very close, and the microphone as well very close to these beautiful pedals. So you get some idea of just how loud they are, because they can be a bit loud, which is probably the only downside with these, again, beautiful pedals. For this video, I would really like you guys to just focus on the mechanical part of how everything looks and behaves while you're using it. There's almost no flex to the pedals themselves, which compared to other like cheaper pedals is really amazing. The brake is again amazing, as is this clutch, which can be really loud when you like smack it really hard, like you would, you know, in real life, really, when you're downshifting rather quickly. Just notice, by the way, how there's force feedback in these pedals. So under the middle pedal, the brake pedal, you can see a motor with a vibrator moving, and it just moves really fast as you lock up the brakes. So you get some beautiful feedback really on how the ABS is doing. And if you're driving without ABS, at least you still know when the wheels are locking up. It's all, you know, great. So other than that, for our conclusion, I'm just gonna give it a gold award because it ticks all the boxes. It's slightly more expensive than toy level stuff, but it's way cheaper than the more professional grade stuff, which makes it, well, perfect for most people. It just hits that sweet spot at 200 and what is it, 50 euros. compared to like 600-700 euro pedals, and they still feel very good, and they look very good as well. So Gold Award, our only downside with these pedals is the amount of noise they make, but that's just about it. Thank you all very much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to Unicorn Reviews, and if you want to, you can share this video with all your friends.